I don't know what the hell's going on tonight. Having all kinds of technical problems. You know what? I got 99 problems, but let me tell you something. Beatrice ain't one. What's going
Hey.
on, girl?
How you been? Long time no see.
Long time no see, girlfriend. How are you?
Good.
You ready to do this thing?
I
And welcome
am.
in your home girl, the one and only.
Miss Jen Root.
I'll tell you what did you just intro? So welcome everybody in the chat. We're gonna say hi to you after we get everybody up in here. Whoa, I even see her in the chat. How could she be in the chat? And she's also on the show. I don't know how this happened.
I did the same thing. You didn't think I was that amazing for that.
Look at her. Look at her. Always fit. I'm fishing for compliments, baby. Wait, how long till someone tells me I'm beautiful? It's too late because Christina already said it. And to me on Twitter DM. All right, so I'm your host DJ, and this right here to my right or my left. To my left is none other than
Beatrice.
That's right. Massachusetts answer to Joan of Arc. And now we gonna bring on the special guest for tonight. This young lady right here is some badass business. She is the sister of Juston Root, the one who was cut down by BPD after some sort of an altercation that didn't require extreme violence to get under control at a hospital. And then they don't hit this gentleman's car, and then they shot him when he was down. And that has never left her. And she is going to keep fighting until there ain't nothing left. And that's why this girl right here is Massachusetts' answer to Joan of Arc. You know what I'm talking about? So party people, put your hands together for Miss Jen Root. Yeah!
What's going on, party people?
Can anybody give me an amen for Jen Root? That's you, Beatrice.
Amen.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Up in here.
Let's get it going.
She's fired up.
She's fired up. Good evening. You know what? It's a pleasure to have you back on, get an update on what's happened, what's about to happen, what you're working on. And you know what else we want to find out about tonight, Jen Root?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I never really know.
We want to find out about Jen Root herself.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Lagatha, Joan of Arc, all these warrior ladies. You one of those girls. You know what I mean? Shield, sword. So
That's right.
She's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? All right. Let's get to people in chat. I want to say hi to people. Apparently Julie is here. What's up, Julie? We just had our cabbie meeting. It was dope. Apparently Beatrice is here. Do you want to say hi to Beatrice, anybody? No? Not even Jen Root. Okay. Hi, Beatrice.
Hi.
Annie is here. How are you, Annie? What's going on? And this young lady right here who sent me this dope hat and sweatshirt from her tugboat company. I think it's Seawolf Marine. Put your hands together for please pass the pepper.
Oh, hi, please pass the pepper.
She's awesome, man. She really is.
It was so fun
Massachusetts. I'm sorry.
It was so fun to meet her at the dinner.
It was, man. She's so cool. And just so dope. She's been through a lot of stuff, and she's just a badass lady, man, running a company, living her best life, doing a damn thing. And she's from the Bronx, New York. How you like that?
Yeah.
Play no games. But this young lady right here isn't Lulu Bell, is from the great state of Massachusetts. There's the pepper. Spicy.
Hot and spicy.
And this young lady right here, I invited her to come on tonight because I happen to know that she loves both of you guys. But she is unable to. She got a bunch of things going down. But here's what she does have to say. Can you give me an amen for that?
Amen.
Let's see who else we got here. Beatrice, where you been, girl? She misses you. Yeah, it's real. Oh, look at that. The first one, it already started. Beatrice. Okay, now we're going on, man. Because somebody talking about how beautiful I am. It is, I've been taking a space course, and it's been difficult for me to get on here. Otherwise, we would have done another chat with you guys this week, like maybe Wednesday or something. So I'm going to do the best I can. I'll see how the course goes along. As long as I'm ahead, I want to do chats so I can just hang out here and talk to you guys. Throw some links out there. You can come on here and talk to me. Here's Jean Rotion, Philly plane crash. I don't know if there's been another plane crash.
There has. I just saw that before getting on. Yeah.
Oh my God. And I was just trying to do analysis on the other one, and I don't have enough data yet to analyze the DC crash with the UH-60 and the apparently, I guess it was a Bombardier, or it was one of those small twin engine jets, commuter type. It's a commuter type jet that they crashed with. So yeah, I don't have the details on that. There's the link, which is https://justonroot.com.
I don't know if you have to do www. I'm a little ancient, but
I said https, girlfriend. Where you at?
I don't know, but I usually just have www.justonroot.
I said H. Okay. All right. There's Dennis Sweeney. What's up, homeboy? I just got to talk to this brother today. I did my Irish accent for him, but I didn't hear him do one back. So I would be really cool if I could hear Dennis do his Irish accent, since he's actually Irish. What's up, Ken Hathaway from Nottingham, England? Is that one? Right now, Jen's like, why did I come back on here? Why did I sign up for this?
Oh no, I find this so entertaining. I'm like, okay, what kind of accent's gonna come out of your mouth now?
Oh, look at this. Les Dames du Lac, Lady of the Lake. Whoa! Thank you so much for bringing some French up in here. That is really awesome. I really dig that. And apparently, Timma's here. Did I miss Timma?
Timma's
hey!
here.
Timma! Are you all right, lad, from Canton, Massachusetts? It's so good to have you in here, sir. Welcome. You're welcome in here anytime.
There too, Nicole, but I don't know what her name is. But this is, I think, her first time watching. So
did I miss? Is there a Nicole here?
Nicole.
Where's Nicole?
Her name is. Hey, honey, write it in the chat.
Nicole, which rhymes with egg roll. Okay. Not that I eat egg rolls because they're deep fried, a lot of fat. No, okay. Amy, Positive Pathways. What's up, homegirl? You made it here live. She's lamenting like she laments when she can't make it here live. Julie likes the facial hair. Yeah, hopefully it's, there's not much I can do up here, so I have to try to, kind of do something with my face because I don't really have anything else to do anything with. And let's see. Sherry D. Brenda says hi to, hey, what's up to my homegirl, Brenda Sweeney? Strong girl. This is our mod here from Chicagoland. How are you there, Miss Jessica and Beezy? How are you there, love? It's good to have you in the chat. Can you do a Chicago accent, Jen? No?
No.
Okay. She's like, I'll leave that to you, Holmes.
That's right.
And there's our other mod. Hey, Beatrice. Thanks for all you do for DJ and channel.
Aw.
One love. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And Jen's, there's this link. If I don't know how to post this at the top, if we can post at the top, Juston Root. I think it's something, I don't remember how to do it. I think I got to go like in YouTube Studio and do it. We need to get smart on that. Next cabbie convention we have to do accents. All right, I think we got everybody. Oh, we have Oh, we can't do this without saying hello to Matty Malarkey. Welcome in. I found out about Juston's story when Jen Root appeared on Sean's channel. Jen is a strong, inspirational, and amazing human.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody loves, she's inspiring. And look at this, Chris from Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. Are you, so Chris, tell us if you are Oklahoma State Cowboys or if you are Oklahoma Sooner fan. We would like to know that. And Tim says, I'm not from Canton, DJ. So let us know where you're from. If that,
Natick.
He's from Natick?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is that where Doug Flutie's from? Oh my God. My football hero.
Hank Brennan.
Hank Brennan's from Natick? Oh my God. Hank Brennan.
Hank and his harmonica?
Oh, wait.
His harmonica.
Hey, take this, Beatrice.
Looking good, DJ.
Thank you,
Of
Thank
course.
you, Lulu Bell. Finally. Jeez. Beatrice. Oh, there's. Oh, but look at that. She says, take that.
All right, why don't you take that one? Hey.
One. And Jen Root. All right. I think we've got everybody. If I miss some. Yeah, we got everyone. Awesome. Miss Jen Root. We went to outside of OKC Boomer. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if February 7th for Jen, right? Hank Brennan has proven that he isn't living up to his job description. Yeah, he's not really making great arguments. He's making a whole lot of noise and hasn't come with a lot of substance, but I'm sure he'd rather be on the other side defending Karen than he would be on this side.
And he doesn't even know how to spell his own name.
Who, Hank Brennan? Oh,
on
Karen?
his latest motion. No, his own name.
He doesn't spell his own name correctly?
No, he misspelled his own name today on one of the motions.
Oh, she's originally from Seattle.
Wow,
they love Washington State. Yeah, that's interesting, but I still find him to be a very capable foe. And also he has one. Actually, I spoke with Beatrice and Terry yesterday, and he has the judge on his side. He has a lot of things going for him. She's going to, if he forgets to make an objection, she's probably going to tell him. If he wants something stricken for the record, she's already proven that she'll tell him about that. So when you have a dishonest judge, this is going to end in a hung jury. If it goes to trial, it's going to end in a hung jury. I don't care if they bring in 700 lawyers for Karen Reed and bring in all the evidence they want, unless they have a photo of John O'Keefe or video walking in that house, it's going to be a hung jury because they're going to find a way to get to the jury, intimidate the jury with Brian Albert, get scoop on the jury from John Fanning, and then you're going to have Judge Bev, Bias Bev, the shameful judge that is going to help them out at every turn, and she's going to pick on Alan Jackson. And every time he gets a little bit of momentum, she's going to let them object, and they're not even going to need to state the nature of the objection. So it's going to end in a hung jury if it goes again. I hate to say that because I want to see this woman walk free, but they're going to have the option of trying her a third time. And let me ask you this before we get to Jen and Juston, would it surprise you, Jen Root, if this ends in a hung jury and they say we're going to go again? Would it surprise you?
No, I mean, I don't know if you've heard anything about the Sean Ellis case, but it was on Netflix called Trial 4.
Yep.
So yeah,
they went 4 times.
They will keep going until they get some sort of conviction, because remember their pockets are very, very deep and they don't end. So it's wrong, but that's what they're doing.
And Ken says DJ was so obvious that Hanky's doing his best to defend Jen. He knows she did it. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I know Mark Betterow told me not to take this. I think he told us not to take the stance that they're the Albert's defense attorney, and he had a cogent reason why. So I don't remember what it was, so I'm not gonna try to restate it here. But let's get into Juston Root and Jen Root. And Jen, if you would, what would you be comfortable sharing about your sort of upbringing, your background, and your journey to get to this place, your spirit, this person that obviously everybody admires. So what could you be comfortable sharing about you?
Well, I mean, I'm from Boston originally.
Hmm.
So my brother and I, we basically, our parents shared joint custody of us when they got divorced. And so he and I always stayed together. So we went back and forth between Jamaica Plain and Brookline. So, Brookline, we went to school there for quite a while. Um, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I used to be a singer, or I used to sing. I would love to sing. My stage name was Ginger Root.
Ooh.
Great.
Whoa!
Yeah, because I got the root and the ginger, and I was like, we can get a little spicy. So I like to do Donna Summer on the radio.
Whoa! Let's do it right now. Let me cue it up.
No,
You
no,
just
no, no. It's really no.
on the radio.
Yeah. And let's see. I graduated from Emerson College with a marketing and advertising degree. It's like the BSSP, but I used to call it the bullshit. But anyway, it's fine. So yeah, it was just like a funny thing. So I'm like, I have a BS. I'm like, yeah, this is so. Let's see. I went to Emerson College. I've traveled a lot. I loved traveling in my early 20s and went all over and backpacked through Europe. Made it all the way down to the Greek islands.
Whoa, you're not. Whoa! You're not gonna just blow through this. Tell me about. Hold up, man. Hold up, girlfriend. What made you decide to backpack through Europe?
So I was 19 and I just thought I should go. And there was a girl who moved into my mom's house that was renting a room there. And she was cool. She was from Colombia, but she was American. And I was like, hey, Em, you want to go? And a lot of people will talk about, hey, I'll go, right? But then when it comes down to it, it's like, where are they at? Nobody's there. She was like, I'm game, let's go. So we went and we had we were gone for 2.5 months. We almost didn't get back because we flew on something called Air Tech, which is standby, because we were on a shoestring budget.
Yeah.
$169 each way. Okay. So we got over there, but we didn't know the Parisians go on vacation in August. So we got like stuck at the airport. And I'm like, I remember like, just like you go to like get a sandwich or do something. And it was like so expensive. And anyway, we almost didn't get out of there, but I decided I was going to go to Iceland Air and I was going to explain to them, we flew over on them, but we had gone into Luxembourg. But I said, just because we went there, maybe we can work something out here. So I go there. They're like, we need to talk to managers. We don't know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll come back. We ended up coming back. And then 2 other people realized that my friend Emily and I, we were going to get somewhere with this because they were stuck there too on the same type of ticket. So we went back to that counter and they said, come back at 10 o'clock tonight. It's possible. If they do have space, we'll put you on. So I was like, great. I'm looking at Emily. I go, those other 2 people were first. And I'm telling you, if there's only one spot, you're going. I will be fine. So
what a
waited all
sweetheart.
day. And of course, the people, like one of them's like, it's my birthday and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, you know what? We got to get out of here because all the money that we just spent, if we have to pay like $1,800 to fly back home, we're going to be like in the hole. So anyway, the person comes out from the plane and they said, they said something to the effect of, there's 2 more spots. Right. And we're like, yay, after the 4 of you get on. And then we were like almost like in the first class area too. It was so awesome. And then we went to Iceland and we went into the hot water springs in between the mountains.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's cold out there, but you get in the water and the water's warm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was quite a trip. So everywhere from Iceland to the Greek islands, we were everywhere.
And I'll bet you there's nobody in the chat right now that's been to Luxembourg. If anyone in the chat now has been to Luxembourg, because it's a small country.
Yeah, don't worry. It's okay. You didn't make it there. It's fine.
No, I mean, but Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, I haven't been to either of those 2, and I was stationed in Europe. So yeah. Hi, hey, hello, Colleen, and hello, by the way, the official attorney of Calling All Beings, Valhalla Law, is here. So What's up, homegirl? She told me she's gonna be here tonight for Jen Root. So can you encapsulate that experience? Was that do you feel like that was a formative experience for you? Like, did you feel like you were a little bit different when you came back than when you left?
Well, I have to, I mean, my mom has always had a very interesting, broad range of friends from all different walks of life and all different places. So growing up, we were really exposed to a lot of different cultures. And like my mom was a Chinese major. My dad had lived in Japan for 5 years. I mean, we were very, just
Worldly.
so like going over to Europe, it's not like it changed me. But what was great is to kind of go by the seat of your pants and not have a place to stay and be like, all right, we just arrived here and but we got to find a place. Like when we arrived in Italy, I was like, uh-oh. But we were able to make it by and do that. And, not having your parents, I don't know. I just felt like it was like I was adulting.
Totally. Bea, what do you have? What do you have for Jen about this experience?
No, I mean it sounds like interesting. Yeah, wow. I didn't realize you did that. I don't know. Pass.
Hey,
No,
I'll tell you another fun fact, guys. Ivan was
Yeah.
raised vegetarian. I have actually never had a hamburger or a hot dog. People are always
wow.
like, I'm like, yes, welcome. Welcome. You have met me. I by mistake had a little bit of chopped up ham one time and I thought I was going to like literally die because I was like,
wow.
whoa. So I've actually never had any hamburger or a hot dog. I've never had red meat. So.
Wow. I mean, you're not missing anything. Obviously, people that think that you can't survive without it is not the case.
But I think that protein is very important. So like my parents are part of the natural food movement here in Boston. And so when I went to school, I would have tofu sandwiches and seitan sandwiches. Okay. Nobody knew what tofu was back in 1985. So I was always educating kids. I'm like, hey, leave my food alone. If you want to try it, go ahead. But if you don't, you need to be quiet. So let's did a lot of that.
Are your kids the same way?
No. I mean, I did think to myself, like, when I have kids, blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, you know what? I think it's important to have some meat protein. And so anyway, I've kind of, moved on from that. I'm not going to eat any meat, though. My husband's Irish, by the way. So he likes his meat and potatoes. He's literally from Ireland. So he still thinks he's going to get me to eat red meat. I'm like, no, man, not after 23 years. You actually, no, it's never happening. I'm not doing it.
Why would he want to anyway?
No, he just like thinks I should, have some meat and I'm missing out and I should eat the family food, right? You go to sit down, you're not eating the same food. You know what I mean? So
can you tell us what your diet, like give us and I hope I'm not boring you guys, but I just want to find out about Jen because Jen has such a spirit about her and we know that what happened to her brother is the prime mover of why she's doing this. But there's also experiences that were formative in her life prior to this, because not everybody would do. There are a lot of people. There are many, many victims who have been killed, and the family just was kind of like, it happened, and they move on. I mean, I'm not going to name examples, but they're out there. So Jen, tell me, in terms of your diet, what does a week look like? The types of things that you would eat.
So I start my day out with Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, which is lactose-free one. And then I put green grapes in it. And it's like a dessert because you get a little bit of the crunch, but you get this burst of sweetness and you're not having added sugar. I'll have that. And then either I could have a salad or I've been doing like these protein shakes because I've been on the journey of slimming down for a while. And so I usually have a protein shake and it's actually right here. I do have to finish it by the end of the night. Okay. And I put plain, what is it? Kefir. Yep. Plain kefir. mix it half and half with the coconut water. I do about a tablespoon of agave, and then I put berries like strawberries and a bunch of cherries because I love cherries. And I put that in, and then I put the protein powder, and boom, it's so delicious. And then, I will have like a fake vegetarian little nugget things. I love Thai food. I love drunken noodles. I loved it when my son was like younger and he was 3 and he'd be like, drunken noodle. I want drunken noodle.
As long as you don't drive after eating it, I think it's okay.
Yeah. And I like Indian food, so I will eat Indian food. Thai, Vietnamese. What you will.
All those, they have lots of vegetarian options.
Fun fact for anybody. Growing up, I was definitely a city girl. I was in the hood. I did a lot of experience. I've definitely had a gamut of all different types of friends. I went from being a homegirl and hanging out in places that I probably would not go to now, and then I moved into the Grateful Dead and Fish. And was like Vermont doing the whole, I almost joined a hippie commune up there, by the way. But then when I went up to really investigate, I was like, I don't like this guy's pictures in this house. And I was like, I'm done. But yeah, I went through that little period. So.
Yeah. I was going to say for my breakfast, Bea knows this, but I've been having a Garden of Life protein / meal replacement shake for 10 years for breakfast.
Oh, wow.
At least 10 years, probably 2015 I started. So I buy it from Garden of Life, like on Amazon. It comes in a big tub. There's chocolate, vanilla, and I think vanilla chai. And what I do is I'll add some peanut butter powder to it, and I'll add a scoop of, now lately I've been adding a banana. So I'll put a banana in there. So there's oat milk, there's a banana in there. Then I'll come with a scoop of almond butter, throw that in there, and some of the peanut butter powder, and then blend it. And it's and then I wait until like 8. I make it at 5:30, but I don't drink it until 8 o'clock. So my first meal is lunch around 11 or 12. So that's kind of what I do. But it's a vegan, Garden of Life shakes are probiotic, they're raw, and they're vegan. So
how much protein is? I just out of curiosity.
Oh, I will send you a screenshot of it. Yeah.
I'm always interested in seeing what like the protein, protein.
It's so awesome. Like I said, I wouldn't have been using. It's rare for me to have food for breakfast. Is unusual. Maybe once every 3 weeks, but it's rare that I'll have food. So, look who's here. Who's here. I'm modding elsewhere. Welcome, Scott. The legend.
For sure.
And there's some questions for you that are here that I've starred. So let's get here. Do you want to read this, Beatrice, in an accent?
Let's get into that red meat. Okay, listen, before we got married, my mom's like, the way to a husband's heart is through his stomach, right? And so I remember making this roast, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm like, I can't touch it. So I put bags over my hands. I was making holes all in it and sticking garlic. I won't really make any red meat. No, not anymore. I last weekend, I did all the mashed potatoes and vegetables, and my husband cooked the steak for him and the boys. And so we do it like that.
So he cooks the meat.
Chicken. Yeah, he'll do the red meat. I'll make them chicken. My younger son has severe allergies, so sometimes my husband will cook fish. He can't have any fish or be near any fish. But yeah, that's what we do for meat.
That is awesome. Let's see what other questions we might hear. Caveman diet. Oh, and Julie's going, Deadhead. Yeah, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, that was so fun. Oh my gosh, I looked at some pictures the other day because I've been looking at a lot of pictures and putting a presentation together of Juston and his life. And I was like, oh my gosh, there I am. I'm wearing my I was totally hippied out in Vermont with this dress. Oh yeah, I was like, I was a flower.
Love hippies. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So Sherry D, this is breakfast. When you have this shake with what I told you that I put in it, it is in fact breakfast. So I may eat it a little or drink it a little later than what some people might eat it 6, but it's all part of kind of a fasting regimen, which is going to kind of fail tonight because I'm not going to eat till after the show. So sometimes you fail. Let's see. Colleen says I do vegan protein shake vanilla and try fresh cucumber. Fresh cucumbers, Colleen. Are
Fresh.
you crazy, love? Are you crazy? Let's see. What else is Jen, ever do mashed cauliflower? It's so good. Yes. Have you ever
Well,
done that, Jen?
A long time ago. I should actually try it again. I mean, I did a long time ago. I just haven't done that because my kids are a little picky with food. I made mashed potatoes though for them tonight.
I can tell you, Jen, that the Whole Foods mashed cauliflower, and I'm sure there's a significant amount of grated cheese in there. But I bet you it's fattening, but it is delicious. Let me just
Of course,
tell you
it's
that.
fattening. I don't even need to look at it. If it's
You-
that delicious,
you know it.
It's
gotta be.
They have
Yeah.
something in there for you.
Trick the kids, put some cheese in it, they won't know.
Yeah, I will, Sherry D.
All right, Beatrice, do you have a question for Jen?
Yes. So where are we at after the Supreme Court decision?
She's like, let's get down to business here.
Right? Let's get
Stop
down
with
to
all the
business.
cooking
I'm just
and
going to
vegan
tell
food.
you, I've just gone on a 10-day, I haven't really been out. I've gone into a rabbit hole into excessive force cases and qualified immunity and what the Supreme Court's looked at. And I've done so much research. And when I tell you it's like 10 hours a day for the last 10 days, literally. Because I am pro se, which means I'm going to be my own lawyer. I am going to file a petition for rehearing. They never really grant them, but I'm doing this as my one last hoorah. And I'm going to tell you how it's going to start out with my one question. I'm going to share it with you guys because I'm putting it out in the universe. What weight relevance should a subject or suspect's incapacitation and physical condition be considered and part of the totality of the circumstances analysis when weighing the reasonableness at the moment? And that's where it's at. Because I'm just shocked, all the officers have to, what it literally comes down to is all they have to say is they were in fear and, we made a mistake. They can make mistakes. It's fast and intense and, it's a split-second decision. So if it's always a split-second decision, by the way, most of them, I mean, literally, it's always, it was a split-second decision. Oh,
Yeah, that's their thing. That's their
We just tell
tagline.
them that they're reaching. Oh, guess what? Now they know that they're an imminent threat because they believe that they're armed. They're not taking anything else into consideration, even though they talk about the totality of the circumstances. And what I realized, it's just the officer's totality of the circumstances. And anyway, so yeah, the denial of the petition for what we filed with the United States Supreme Court. I mean, we knew that the threshold is they barely take any cases, but it was shocking to see that about 293 cases were also denied on that same day. And I thought, there is no way they conferenced on January 13th and did a 2-hour oral argument for TikTok and then were able to go through 293 cases, no matter which way you slice and dice it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're voting just yes, no, you can't even do that.
Their clerks probably denied it.
Yeah, well, just started to make me wonder, what is their process really? And now I'm oh, so it just must be the clerks that read it. They do a memo. So now
Yes.
I'm thinking, great. So I have young 22, 23-year-olds, probably very bright, by the way, but also might not have had tons of case experience in excessive force cases and qualified immunity, blah, blah, blah. They're writing a memo and then they make a recommendation. So that's how that goes. It definitely, I had a little bit of hope, and I have to say I am still processing the disappointment, because you think to yourself, this is so wrong. It's so wrong. And how could this be? So, I mean, I'm not going to let it defeat me. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely weighs heavy on my heart, but I'm going to have to move through it because this is what life has handed me for whatever reason. I have no idea why or what it is. I don't know if I'm going to write a book eventually because I want to talk about in detail about every step of the way of this process, with the litigation, everything that you have to do is I don't know, like it's, you know, people always sometimes throw around like, I'm going to file a lawsuit and this and that. I'm like, have you really actually gone way down into like a real lawsuit? Because it's not something you want to get into lightly ever, really.
Yeah. So, and I just want to say, I just want to say for the record, I don't need to be in chapter 1 of the book. You can at least wait till chapter 2, just to take that pressure off. Okay.
Well, as I'm looking at this, like, yeah, I know, but I'm looking at this as the 5 years, 5 years since Juston was killed, and 5 years of being on this very intense journey with litigation, and not just one case, but 3, because the valet, yes, there was an officer, the officer from Boston, the one that I believe, you know, he just escalated every step of the way, and he had special knowledge about, you know, shooting the clear plastic paintball gun in half in Boston. I mean, anybody with eyeballs would see, oh, it went from this to this. I mean, and we all know, I mean, well, officers know, of 20 years will know that you can't shoot a real firearm in half. So, I mean, there's some, you know, brain pieces that have to be put together. But that guy, yeah, he lied about his body-worn camera under oath. So we, the courts and judges, they allow testifying. They actually only, in my opinion now, they only looked at what the officers said and experienced. They discounted the EMT that was at Justin's side, literally down to a frickin' sentence. It's just shocking what they do. They pick, the judges like pick, I called it cherry picking because that's part of my deeper writing in my thing, because I'm taking it piece by piece. You know, they're cherry picking information, and they're making inferences and credibility determinations, and that's really for a jury. So I also look at this as that they're taking this away from the public, and that should be very concerning for everyone. And part of what I write in this is going to talk about how the failure for you to do something is eroding the legal system. And so, you know,
yeah, and
action.
yeah, we need to like reach out to some of the lawyers we know to ask if they can review or help, or maybe even edit your final product. And if you haven't already done that, but yeah,
I've tried. I'm totally open to that. So I have to have it to the special, because you know the Supreme Court, which is so annoying. You have to have like special printer, you know, the whole thing. So the first filing was around 4,000 because you have to do the appendix, and it's hundreds of pages. And now this particular one is only going to be 5 to 11 pages, but it's around what, like $1,200, right? So I have to have it to the printer on Thursday. No, I want to do it. My lawyers were like, you know, it's pointless to do it.
yeah,
I know I'm doing a pointless exercise, but I'm doing it I have to get this off my chest, because it's extremely concerning to me that they do not factor in whether somebody's incapacitated or not on the ground. And if you're telling me that like that's okay to like blast 31 bullets, I'm not okay with that. Like I'm never going to be okay with that. And so I'm going to make sure I, you know, get that known for the rest of my life, because that's just wrong, you know? This
is an example of why we admire you so much, because you know that it's going to cost you $1,200 to be heard and to have your feelings put out there. You know, screw the lawyers. I mean, I want to be heard. I want you to answer this point and tell me that there's no weight to this. So we got a couple questions for you, so I'd like to get those in there.
Yeah.
This is from Ken Hathaway. Maybe Beatrice can read this with her British accent.
Jen, if I'm right in my memory, didn't an officer hide his body cam?
Yeah, that's the officer from Boston who was also closest to Juston in Brookline. Look, I like to take this out. He's right there. Wait, right there. That's him.
In the dark. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Wait, sorry. He's like right there. He's the closest to Juston. That's the one from Boston. He took off his body-worn camera and tossed it into his cruiser. And then he said, I killed the mother F. And then he said, I emptied my magazine on him. He also didn't have his department-issued firearm either. Yeah, so he's got a lot going on.
And he probably felt like such a badass too. What a badass. So impressed. Man, you'd have
Yeah.
thought you're on like a ranger squad in Afghanistan with like being overrun by Taliban
Well, I didn't appreciate
or
when
Al
he
Qaeda.
was deposed in another one of the other cases where he just said, "Well, I didn't know if he had another gun," and I'm like,
Well, that's why you go and
"Wait,
yeah,
hold on.
yeah.
If you didn't know he had another gun, you know something happened to the gun
Well,
that you
well,
thought he had." And
First
it's
of
like,
all, can I jump in here? When you have a guy in a prone position, so prone position, and you can see his hands, and if tactically you don't feel like you can approach that guy with your weapon drawn while he's in a prone position with his hands visible, then you suck. I mean that. I mean, I'm not going to make it. I'm
well,
not
what
a
they
see
say is that he reached, and the fact is, Juston had lost almost 2,000 cc's of blood. He was in cardiac arrest.
Yeah,
He
no,
had a
yeah.
massive accident, and you're telling me these two officers, because that officer from Boston was also an EMT certified before he was an officer, and so was the one who kicked him before they unloaded the bullets. Those people knew. I mean, come on, they know. And why? And if you really believe someone is, this is another thing that I really feel like they need to weigh in the qualified immunity reasonableness analysis is they do have to take into consideration, or at least they should, and they don't right now. Did you follow best policing practices? Did you follow your training? I mean, what's the training for if you're not going to follow the training in very tense situations? I mean, what they did and tactically how they handled that put the public at great risk. I mean, it's not like he was going anywhere. He clearly couldn't go anywhere. And, you know, the EMT woman, you know, who was at his side, she's cradling his face. So obviously she's not afraid. You know, it's just, it's crazy.
But yeah, the thing is, yeah, again, so there's those two factors. The EMT female was by his side, and he didn't actually reach for a weapon. So if you don't think you can tactically approach, again, I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier, so forgive me. If you don't feel like you can have your weapon drawn, tactically approach, and if the guy isn't doing anything that you can't protect yourself, then you pretty much suck. Like you need to go back to like, you need to go back to the academy because, I mean, even like a washed up, never was a ground operator, only an air operator guy like me, pretty sure I could manage something like that and then cuff the guy. But anyway, let's go to.
Wait, I wanted to say something else too while I'm thinking about it because it's a lot on my mind. Look at me, a lot on my mind. But I'll try to keep it, contained.
Mhm.
The interesting thing that I'm going to focus on too in this piece is that there was a time when we were in the First Circuit of Appeals, and there was some sort of documentary that came out about the Boston Marathon bombing. Okay.
Yep.
So, when they finally approached that guy in Watertown, it was mayhem. It was contagious fire. Nobody was in charge. There was a report that was made and given to like the Boston police and probably some other policing agencies, but we didn't know the extent of it with, higher up Boston police, I don't know, their staff, right? The higher ups. I don't remember what they were, but big. And they talked about in that documentary about the need for training and that so forth. So you're talking about 2014, that was. Well, the city of Boston never provided us with any of that documentation, which they were supposed to under the discovery rules. It encompassed that our request would encompass that. So like they didn't give it to us, right? And so we filed with the First Circuit a supplemental brief. Well, they denied it. And so I'm going to bring that up in my piece to say, you're saying now a reasonable officer, because all of them shot and came up with their own reaching program because they met together before they were interviewed.
Right.
You also blocked another very possible, and what it is, besides the fact that the guy in Boston, I would assume, wanted him totally, completely dead because he was like, I'm getting the mother F.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was
so
definitely,
superb.
he was in, he was ready to kill. So, but contagious fire. I mean, a couple of the officers said they shot because they heard gunshots. That's contagious fire. And they never have like didn't train their officers or address that that issue. And for that court to just turn that away for a real viable like look at this wasn't Juston reaching. Come on. Like, this was contagious fire.
And he was on the ground too. So it's not like how was he a threat to the officers at that point?
Well, he wasn't a threat to the EMT female that they
Right.
told to get away. And while she was attending to him, that is when I would have approached and tried to cuff the guy. And then, or at least tend to him, cuff him in front of his body, but, tend to his injuries. But that they were trying to unload on a guy and they weren't trying to save a guy. And it kind of makes me sick. What about?
And how can they just say that? So I see Scott McGinnis. So Justin's case is completely over and done. It was completely over and done April 22nd of 2024. 2024. Wait, 2004, 2014. In 2024, it ended in April. And then we filed with the United States Supreme Court. And while that's pending, your case is not reopened. It's officially been over. What we were hoping for is that they would take a look at it and address our questions. And they did what they kind of do to about 95% of all the petitions, which is deny. So I don't know what they're doing either. I don't know. The whole thing is a racket now. I'm like, I just think, like, what are you guys doing? Like, really? Are you really addressing any questions?
Can I ask something? When you're writing this, is there a part where there's kind of like, and forgive me because I have no knowledge on writing these briefs that you're going to write. Is there sort of a forward where you give like a synopsis of what happened?
So rehearing ones that I've seen, they don't do a synopsis. So when we file with the Supreme Court, the original petition, there is a synopsis of what happened. But remember, when they start to look at the police's rebuttal, they're looking heavily at how the First Circuit, there's two judges in the First Circuit that are, one of them is picking these cases because she's a senior judge. She picked another police case in 2022, and they used that a lot to shut Justin's down. And so she was on that along with the guy that, that's the majority. There were three judges. One of them didn't agree with them, and she got the points correct because when you have a dispute of material fact, you are to go to a jury. It's not for the judges. And I mean, listen, even if we did win, I feel like you could still go to trial and they're still going to pull out that card. You know what I mean? They're going to pull out something. That judge is going to say, oh, you can't put that evidence in and you can't do that. They're going to manipulate it in such a way that I don't think that you can, prevail. It's hard.
I guess this is the cop's name, I think, is Dave Godin or however you say his name. Godin. Okay. Let's see what Police Pastor Pepper. So she is a lawyer. So I'll use Ken's mom's voice. Jen, have you looked at cases like Kim Porter case and some others where there was a conviction at the trial level? Maybe Justin's case is past the trial stage, so no longer helpful. How's that? Was that good for Ken's mom?
Yeah.
Well, Jen's smiling. She still thinks I'm weird, but okay. So yeah, I don't think this is applicable because you're past the trial level.
We're past the trial level. The only thing that could happen someday, and look, it's like slim to none, okay? Because I just want to say, you know what? We investigated ourselves. We found nothing wrong.
Right. We exactly.
The evidence.
Strangely enough.
I want you to have. And then you're going to go to the courts. And then we're going to get you that way too. So let's just say if the world operated in the way that we all know that it should be operating, we would have an independent investigation. People are not like Yuri Buchanek and John Fanning and Michael Proctor and Nick Garino. We'd have people who are actually interested in finding out what actually happened and asking some of the tough questions. Or how about just asking, what was Justin's condition? Because not one of them were asked, what was his condition? You knew that he was shot in Boston. You knew he had a catastrophic accident. What was his condition? Because any reasonable police officer, I think, would come to the conclusion that he was in complete utter shock and wouldn't be able to respond to anything. And the idea that they were like, he didn't obey the commands, he was resisting. I'm like, dude,
he was in, yeah, he was more
like, oh yeah, they
yeah,
say too that he didn't follow their commands and he was resisting.
yeah, he was mortal. That's what I mean. Like the synopsis
Mortally
of the,
wounded, bleeding out, and you think. I mean, come on, that just defies all logic. Like that's
well,
not human.
let me give you a tangential example. We haven't talked about this case in a while, and we're gonna get to Valhalla Law's question because she's a lawyer, and she's retired now in Massachusetts, but I think she's probably going to want to take a look at your pleadings. So that would be something that we can connect the two of you. But Roger Fortson, he was a senior airman down at Herbert Field in Florida, flying gunships like I used to. And the police were dispatched during the daytime to his apartment complex for a supposed domestic disturbance. By the way, he was at home alone, FaceTiming with his girlfriend. The officer gets there and is slamming on the door in the way that I thought like you would be at a drug den and you're ready to take the battering ram and knock the door down. Eddie Duran was the officer. So he's like, slamming on the door like, hey, you could just knock on the door and say, hey, for Walton Beach or Okaloosa County Sheriffs, can you please instead of ringing the bell and doing all that, he's slamming on the door, then he's hiding so that he can't look through the peephole and see him. Okay? And I don't hear any noise on his body cam. When the kid answers, because someone's slamming on his door, he has a 9mm strapped to his leg, pointed at the floor. As soon as he opens the door, officer draws down, fires 6 shots into him. Then, like Justin, he says to him, drop the weapon. And you hear the kid saying, I'm not holding the weapon. He's on the floor bleeding out. And of course he died. And he's saying, drop the weapon as the kid's laying on the floor and doesn't have a weapon in his hand. Very much like them trying to command Justin to comply with commands when he's mortally wounded, telling someone to drop the gun when he's mortally wounded. Well, guess what? Eddie Duran was fired by the Okaloosa County Sheriffs within 48 hours.
Good. Did he
fired.
Get his back though?
What's that?
I wonder if he got his job back or he just moved on to another.
Oh, he went to jail.
Oh, good.
He had to get bailed out on jail. They arrested him. Oh, I forgot to say that. They fired and arrested him. I think they fired him one day and arrested him the next day. Britt is on top of this case to a degree, but there are police officers talking to her and they're trying to spread that opposite narrative. Oh yeah, I think we heard something in the background. They're trying to feed her that narrative to justify what this dude did because it looks bad for them. Yeah. But he's lucky. He's a black kid from Atlanta. So had he just been a normal black kid from Fort Walton Beach, he might have been screwed. But guess what? The AFSOC commander, 3-star general is like, what the fuck is happening? Why did you guys kill my airman? And so OSI, he probably directed Office of Special Investigations is basically the FBI of the Air Force, right? In fact, they're trained at Quantico themselves. And they were probably calling the sheriffs every day, hey, what's going on? Need an update for the general. General wants to know what the hell's going on. I mean, they had at least 100 or more airmen that flew to Atlanta and went to his funeral. Now, would Okaloosa County sheriffs have reacted the same if he wasn't an AFSOC airman? Maybe not. But thankfully, at least in this case, the right thing happened after something happened like what happened to Justin.
Very rare.
Very rare.
It's not just Massachusetts, but in this country.
Yes, it is. So it is.
Pleadings so I have some of the filings on the justonroot.com page. It's says court filings. So that primarily has the what we filed with the First Circuit, and then it also has the First Circuit's ruling, which I actually have never really read the whole thing. I had to read a little bit more of it because I was trying to write some stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing, by the way, just so you know. And then I was like, you know what? After a while, I'm like, I don't even really care. I'm just going to do these points that I feel like I need to make, and then that's it.
And you know what? But if you, let me just say this for Valhalla Law, if you want, if you guys want to, you guys can connect through me. I have her on Twitter DM, and they're on justonroot.com. But is there anything you have that's not on justonroot.com?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Then if you are offering to have a look at him, I will connect you, and thank you. God bless you for doing that.
Yeah,
Namaste.
and also on the United States Supreme Court website, if you search the docket under Bannon versus v. Godin, it will come up, at least what we filed with the United States Supreme Court, which I think is very compelling, and it brings it down to all the legal points. There's so much more to the case, right? But there's just certain legal points that you can argue, and me, I want to know everything. So
yes, we do. We do know you. Here goes Scott. Most Leos, when first told the short story version of Juston Root story, especially regarding the initial shooting, immediately assume it was justified, but so much more to the story. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they
did a nice cover up. I'll tell you, they did a wackadoodle cover up.
That's what they do.
Crazy.
I mean, they must learn that at the academy. Okay, guys, and this is how you cover up. I'll get her a dinghy come across the water. So funny. Beatrice, what do you got, man? I've been hogging up all this damn airtime.
No, it's okay. No, everything's really interesting. So now you have until you said next Thursday.
Yeah, because the course. I mean, how ironic is this, by the way? The deadline is February 7th.
Wow.
So I have to get it to the printer February 6th, but still it's going to be filed on February 7th, which is literally legit the 5-year. That's another thing I was taking from the universe, where I was like, you know what? Just because it's supposed to be on February 7th, I feel more compelled to do it too.
Absolutely. I mean, if that's not the universe speaking to you, right?
I'm very numbers, everything. It really bugs me. He was shot on the ground. Yeah. They made her move away. Yeah. Well, no, he was shot at 15 times from point blank range in Boston. And you can just assume that a good amount of those hit him. And then he was in very, very bad shape when he got to Brookline. There is not one inkling that anybody could ever tell me that there was any type of threat or fear for their lives. I call big BS.
100%.
But
what really pisses me off.
So just so you know, too, I'm, we're going to do the 5-year Vigil in Brookline next Friday, February 7th at 9:15 a.m. And it's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. I've done it every year. This is, though, going to be my last year until the 10-year. It's time to I'm not going to say I'm closing a chapter, but we're moving on to a new chapter in this book and in this journey. And so this is really a big day for me in a lot of ways. But we will have, it's going to be where Juston was actually killed. And we will have a moment of silence at 9:29 when the officers shot the 31 bullets. And then we are going to be releasing some white doves. Sorry, the phone's ringing. It's okay, Lo. Interesting. See, if it's a tenant, he's like, my heat is out.
That's not important. I mean,
that can don't worry about it. I'll just text my husband. Don't worry, he'll go fix it. So this is going to be in Brookline, and the address is 1 Boylston Street. And we've
got the address on the screen, love.
You're not going to need any sunscreen, but we are going to block off the area there right by the Chase ATM.
Hi there, this is Hannah over at 21 Bothwell. My number is
This is live. This is live
leaving a
broadcasting.
message, right?
Not for the faint of heart. Thank you, Sherry D, for being so on top of it. I appreciate it. You guys are dope as hell. Celebration of life. Yeah, it makes me, man, when I think about that and I think about how an officer could have approached and saved his life.
Yeah.
And instead they took a life.
I mean, that's what I think that the mentality is very concerning. There's a lot of militarization that's going on. People should pay attention to their towns about the budgets that are going to police, and also like for new guns and all sorts of bigger guns. But anyway, I want to just encourage everyone and anyone who is in the area to come to the Vigil. And we're going to have like a short speaking, lineup, which I'm excited about. Yeah.
That is.
And then in the evening, we're having a more like private, like closed type of celebration of life for Juston, because we went right into COVID and we had to cancel his memorial. And since we've been on a horrendous legal journey for the last 5 years, there was never really time to, take a breath and like just, think about Juston. And so that, is going to be really about remembering him and all the memories and, not about what happened to him. Right. So that's going to be interesting because we haven't really had that. I haven't been able to grieve at all. And anyway, I just think it's part of, again, that chapter, propelling into the next.
It sounds like you and Karen Reed, she's not able to grieve because she's fighting for her life, and you haven't been able to grieve.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting for Juston losing his life.
Yeah.
Standing Stones, I'm also a motorcycle guy. Just want to let you know. Big into motorcycles. In fact, I was listening some MotoGP talk today to kind of take me away from what happened in the community yesterday that was very difficult to deal with. And once again, there it is. Yeah. As a mental health professional, this case bothers me so much, knowing that Juston was battling mental illness himself, and that wasn't taken into account. I wish I understood more about this case sooner. Yeah.
Oh, can I just say, I'm just going to tell you, that is what really at the heart of it has always extremely bothered me, is that my brother is at a hospital surrounded by 3 or 4, what was it, 3? Yeah, no, 4 mental health facilities. And one of them is Mass Mental Health. And the level of care and concern that was not shown is just shocks my conscience. It shocks my conscience because for that to happen and for what transpired there and, what somebody chose to share and not share and embellish on, is just frightening because it put in wheels the motion of my brother's life being taken, and not just taken, but taken very, very violently. And the fact that a police officer shows up at the hospital and just goes right up to the dangerous guyman and doesn't even have a conversation or de-escalate or say, hey, do you have a permit for that? Because you can carry in Massachusetts, by the way. You just shouldn't just go up to somebody and, Right. I mean, if he just had a conversation, I just think to myself, like, if it were just a minute later, so much of it would have changed. And every step of the way it's just shock. It's completely shocking, everything. But starting at a hospital where you should really, there should be a level of care that should be happening, especially for people who are struggling with mental illness. I mean, my brother had severe mental illness, and, he was delusional that day. And he, he believed he was part of the world police. He definitely felt like he was part of the world citizens. And, the
mental illness.
He felt that he was he was part of the police. And I mean, that's what he said to that officer. He said, I'm with law enforcement. I'm with law enforcement. And I'm sure he had the badge on, but that disappeared. Never found
Right.
that, by the way. If someone came at me with a realistic gun, yeah. Oh yeah, this was so not realistic. I mean, I showed it to you, Beatrice, when you came over. I mean, it's listen,
not
it's
real.
not okay. There's not anybody who's been an officer for 20 years that would ever look at this thing and be like, that's a firearm. And you can't
Right.
say that it just happened so quickly, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, it happened quickly, dude, because you already saw him before at your window with it in his hand. And you were like, this prick, he's got this, you know, it's comply or die, but this thing is huge. It's 12 inches. It's clear plastic. Okay. Well, the whole thing is clear plastic with some black pieces, but then it has a chimney and it was unloaded. I mean, just use some common sense. I mean, that same officer actually had gone to that area for a freaking BB gun. And I would say a BB gun, yeah, you wouldn't be able to. I mean, a black BB gun, you wouldn't know if it's a real gun or not. You wouldn't be able to tell. But this thing, when you have a security guard from another hospital there, not hospital, but, Mass Mental Health saying 60 feet away, he knew it was a toy. So, no. It's just they had to roll with it. That officer looked stupid. He made a stupid move. He tripped backwards, felt like an idiot. And then he got mad.
And even that initial conversation, you see him talk to the guy. It looks very, amicable. And then he shook his hands as he walked and then he walked away and moved like he went to his
It
car.
doesn't look scary.
He doesn't look scary or threatening at all.
No. And that security guard made the call and said that that Juston had threatened to shoot him.
And then shook his hand as he walked away from him. It just doesn't even make sense.
Didn't say anything about that. No. It's just this. He just threatened to shoot me. Which, by the way, that wasn't communicated to the Boston police, because I always like to try to tell people you have the dispatch from Brigham and Women's that goes to the 911 dispatch. Then you have 911 dispatch to the Boston police, and then you have the Boston police to the officers. So there's definitely a chain, and what really is the most important to listen to is what those Boston police officers heard on their radio, because that's what they knew. And they didn't know about the valet being shot, because nobody knew that till 9:32, because I listened to all the body-worn cameras and all the officers that were responding, because all the videos are post-shooting. I listened to them. It wasn't until 2 minutes after he was killed that they knew about the valet. But then they knew, oh, shoot, we know that he wasn't armed, so now we know that our gun has hit the valet. And anyway, the city of Boston paid him $100,000.
Yeah, this is it's every time I think about this case, it really makes me sad, because we're fighting for justice for someone that's gone, and no matter, we can't bring him back. We can only try to, to get someone to recognize that this was wrong. And that's really all you're looking for, because that's all you can get. And you just want somebody that's of an official nature to say, this is wrong. Let me read.
I could have never in a million years seen the Karen Reed case coming, or Sandra Birchmore case coming, and seeing these same people doing what they called investigating, which basically they did not investigate this. I cannot call that investigating. I mean, I could do a better investigation, and I'm not even trained. But just to see that happen at this late juncture, for all of this to kind of like come is something that I didn't foresee ever happening. But I think that there's a real opportunity here to really shine a light on these, purported investigations that are really actually just letting people who've committed murder still walk our streets.
Well, let me say something about that, because we spoke about this yesterday on Twitter. You actually can't do a better investigation than they did. You could do a better investigation than they tried not to do. So that's what people need to understand. It's not that they can't, it's that they didn't want to, because they didn't want to implicate themselves. So when they put their mind to it to investigate and find an actual perpetrator, an actual guilty culprit, they're quite good at it, obviously. But when they put it to their mind that they're not able to do that because of the fact that it will, it will basically put one of their officers in jeopardy. That's when they're like, well, we're not going to that level, so we're going to make sure we do this wrong so that no one here has to go and get jammed up. That this kid's dead, and that's their problem. It's not our problem. That's the way they'll look at it. And let's address Jessica and BZ here. She is one of our 3 amazing mods that you see in the chat tonight, which is the original Gangster Julie, Sherry Dizzle, and Jessica and BZ. And she says, by the way, I'm here and listening. This case really bothers me because my brother's murder was done by his nursing home and the cover-up was in play as well. And now remember that you spoke about this before, Jessica. So if you want to share anything further on that, we will read it.
And I'm sorry to hear about your brother. When you lose someone to murder and a violent death at the hands of somebody, it's just absolutely heartbreaking, because you know that had someone, like another person, been involved and taking their life, that they could be here.
Well, I want to say real quick, and before we say hi to Boston Brandy, hi Boston Brandy, we're gonna say hello to. Yeah, she is. I got to sit down for my half a burger and a few fries with her, but I had the conversation with her and her husband Russell, I believe is his name, was even more interesting than the burger and the fries. So good to see you here. Coach Chris Luttrell was on with us to talk about Enrique Delgado's case, and that to speak to the injuries and how not only aren't they consistent with police training, of which he was a police tactics trainer, he was also an MMA fighter, he was also an MMA coach, and he also had a career in law enforcement that he retired from. He was also with the New Mexico State Police. He was also with Albuquerque Police. He was also on the SWAT team. So, I mean, this guy basically has every credential you could have that has to do with shooting somebody and combatives. And he once shared with me a letter from a mom thanking him for talking a gun out of her son's hand, who was also mentally ill, and not killing him. And Chris could have taken that guy out in any number of ways with any number of weapons, or taken his life with his hands if he wanted to, because of his background. And he didn't. He saved that kid's life. That's the kind of officers we're looking at for BPD, CPD, MSP. That's what we're looking for, is
Right.
Can you de-escalate the situation and save a life without blowing somebody away? And if you're like, well, I want to go home to my family, then don't sign up to be a police officer. Because if that's the case, you could just draw down on everybody who's even the slightest threat and kill them. Look at Philando Castile. Look at George Floyd. You can look at look at Eric, I'm trying to remember his name, the kid from Brooklyn, Eric Garner, where this dumb-ass officer, thinking he's trained in jiu-jitsu, choked this guy to death. You should not be administering a mataliao, or a rear naked choke in English, because obviously you can't do it without killing someone, dickhead. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
anyway.
You know what? With the amount of cases, and I would be on with Anne Marie, and I was like, we should just do a YouTube show of this, because we should just talk. Like, we're like, literally, I'm like, oh my gosh, this case, that case. And we're like, what? I mean, I just, like, my mouth drops. And then some of the stuff too, I'm like, you gotta be kidding. And I'm like, nope, this is real shit, man. I'm like, we should have a YouTube show just to go through what we do here, because it's so, first of all, it's eye-opening. And I had to take a break last night. I had to, like, I felt everything just starting to, like, you know, and I was like, okay, I need to, like, go out to my kitchen, clean up my kitchen, and, like, blast Buffalo Stance. Remember that, Nina Cherry? Hey, DJ. Remember? Who's that gigolo on the street with his hands in his pocket, right? Okay, so anyway, so I'm blasting that. I'm like just jamming out to it. And I was like, we got to move this energy because damn, it does get very intense and that's okay. But yeah, you got to take a breather.
I'd like for a second, I want to recognize someone in the chat here. I was wondering if Beatrice and Jen could give a few words about Boston Brandy.
She's great. I mean, she's out there with her signs, doing her thing, and she writes like these unbelievably well-written X posts and Facebook posts that it's like, wow, like the girl can write.
And it's great. Every time I go to a standout, she's always there.
Yep.
I tell you what, she is so gangster, as bundled up as I was, and what little she needed to keep herself warm, and her energy, like moving around with her sign in some sort of like high heel boots that look
She
very
was, yeah.
uncomfortable
Her
and not
knee highs.
warm. She is gangster,
She is.
gangster, badass girl. That's all I got to say. It was a pleasure meeting you and meeting your husband.
Oh, and you were almost right. She said it was Ross, not Russell. I think you said Russell and she said Ross.
Oh, his name's Ross. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot now.
No, but you were pretty close. I mean, that was like a month ago.
I got an A.
You got the R.
Ross.
I mean,
Yeah.
Right. You were on the right
It's
path.
Ross.
Yep. Ross.
Sorry, it's Ross. I did have a good conversation with him, though, and he had the thing that I really liked about this guy is he had a smile on his face the entire time we spoke, and talking about his wife and what she's doing, and that he's proud of her, and he doesn't really have time to do it, but I really just thought it was really cool. They look like they just got a great marriage and relationship, and seemed like such a cool.
And she brings
cool
the
dude.
girls to the standouts. I mean, they're learning
She
a
does.
lot from their mom and dad.
Yep.
Just being out there, like what a lesson.
Definitely.
I know we're now raising the next generation of, taking activism and standing up for what's wrong. And yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And it's, a lot of people get upset, when black folks do this. But that's what they're doing, the exact same thing that you're doing, standing out. They're just doing it for a different reason, because a lot of times they're singled out. And actually, Amy talked about this, that a Spanish kid with his pellet gun was killed by police when she was a child, that she was aware of, and she felt like it was racially motivated. And that's, essentially that's why they stand out. They think that their skin color plays a role in what's happening. And if you listen to the Jamaican guy who went to the academy with Enrique, and Enrique was, basically he's basically like a black person as well as a Latino. And he said, if you go to the, MSP Academy and you're black or you're Latino, you might have some problems. So I don't know what the racial makeup is of that cadre of troopers, but that's what he said, and that's what he experienced there. And he seemed like such a nice young man, the Jamaican guy. He had already served in the army, and his wife was serving in the army. I can't watch videos like that. I have to mute and look away. I feel like choking and watching it. It's brutal. Yeah, and I watched the Roger Fortson video of him being shot by the officer on his doorstep, and it was difficult for me to do it. One of my friends, who's a lieutenant colonel up at the Air Force Academy, shared it with me, because everybody in AFSOC, even if you're not with AFSOC anymore, once you're with AFSOC, you're always AFSOC. I'm always going to be AFSOC, even though I'm space guy now. And I had to watch it to see, so that I could determine for myself what I thought the validity of what this officer did. And I did not find his story to be credible. And the fact that other officers are trying to offer a little bit of cover, at least to Britt, the stuff that they told her and that she relayed to me, is bullshit. And it's really unfortunate, because you let that guy swing. First of all, they had fired that guy before and then rehired Eddie Duran. So that was another thing. And then, when they decided to fire him and then arrest him, well, you should be like, good, there's another jackass. I don't have to worry about sullying our reputation. So, what else we got here? Do you watch the auditors on YouTube. It will set your teeth on edge. Yeah, I don't watch it, Ken, because there's only like a certain amount of this that I can, like I can't watch Jennifer McCabe on the stand. I can't watch Hank Brennan lie. There's certain things I just can't. I can't take it. So anyway, that's why it's very difficult for me. It's one of my failings because there are those of you that watch these cases and sit and watch each and everything and take it down and write notes. And oh, and she's saying tell Ross, forgive me. Because we're gonna have beers again. We're gonna break bread again on the next trip to Massachusetts, and I'll let you guys know when that is, when I can get that going on. I feel old. I had Jay and the Americans, Cara Mia on. You're gonna have to tell me about that. That must be a group?
Yeah,
you
it
have
must
to
be
tell
some.
you have to tell me about that, Peppa, because you're not older than me, homegirl. Don't even try to do it. Yeah, you guys are gonna make me cry now.
What's going on?
Oh, look who's here. The legend, John Camo. And what does that mean? Dixie Normus. I can't imagine what he's getting at there.
I know.
Oh, okay,
So that's that's the name he used when he called into the select board. He said his name was Dixie Normus. Into select board. So that just stuck.
Yep.
That is wonderful, man. That is wonderful. Thank you for cheering me up. Yeah, and the ethereal thumbs up. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. The AI that YouTube has, you go like this, and then it'll kind of make a thumbs up at some point. I don't know. Shout out to the legend, John Camo. He's a Canton original gangster, and she's. I think that means she's pissed off too. Everybody loves John Camo. Not hitting on you, John. Oh my God. Oh, look at, I'm sharing, man. All right. So there are lots I can't watch either, but a lot of times I can't make it through the YouTube transcript either. I can make it. Yeah. You know what? That might be the way to do it. Thank you for recommending that, Valhalla Law, because maybe that's a way that I can get through it and digest it without hearing those voices that just make me sick. And Hank knows what happened in this case. Sorry, go ahead. Did you say something, Jen? No? Yeah.
Nobody said anything.
No, I didn't say nothing, DJ. Keep going.
Those are the voices in your head.
I watch, just so you know, like I can't watch any body worn camera footage or our things of police. Even the Tyree Nichols, that I had to shut it off because I can feel like my heart. I don't know, because you know that it's like real. You know what I mean? It's not just a show. I mean, it's like literally,
it's real life. Yeah,
it's real life of like someone going to be murdered. And I just can't listen to it or watch it, but it's so it's disturbing how there's too much going on with these types of things happening.
It is. And there's some of those videos where they really, I'm feeling like I can't talk about them without getting emotional as well. And Justin reminds me of those videos that I had seen from some of those other cases. Colleen Itchy Withers Horse Rescue, which I believe is in New Hampshire, where Bea has her summer home, her winter home, and also her son's home. So,
I was like, summer home, I'm coming.
I do.
She does.
Yeah.
And we are hoping that this is the year that Beatrice takes her first hike. She has how many acres, Bea?
20, but I have taken hikes.
Okay, she hasn't taken hikes.
I have.
I'll take a hike with you.
All right, let's go take a hike.
We'll do a
What
hike. We'll go in the summertime.
For me, Jen, I want it to not just be a hike, but I want it to be a investigation or search for Bigfoot. That's what I would like you
We're
and
going to want
Beatrice
a
to do.
spiritual journey into the woods.
Yeah.
Oh, we're like Henry
We're
David
gonna
Thoreau.
Grateful Dead, and
And what she's saying here, I'll do it in the Rocky Balboa voice. Yo, Adrian, Jen M drives me insane, and Sparky Hanky makes my skin crawl. You know what I'm saying, Paulie? I believe he was tortured as a kid by other kids who made him so mean. Yeah, he's probably one of those kids that got picked on in Natick. John said for the record, he's not fighting with anyone. Thank you, John. You might be the one person, but no, we are going to bring the community back together. We're going to do the damn thing. We got a plan, right, Bea?
Yeah.
Can I get an amen from anybody?
Amen.
Yeah. All right.
amen.
All right. For Juston Root. And thank you. My video on the Sally Port, I'm actually wrong. I thought it was Berkey and it ends up being Proctor. So, yeah, I have to go back and see your Sally Port video. You know what, John? We can queue something up for Sunday. We're going to be doing Karen Reed stuff. So Sunday, we're going to have Auntie Deb, Jimmy. We're going to have Jen Altman, one of the original gangsters. And we're going to have the one and only Nurse Kim. She has a very special song that we use only to intro Nurse Kim that is separate and apart from everybody else.
I don't even get a song.
I was about to say, man, next time I want you to blast one of Justin's songs, and that's going to
I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to.
It's so absurd. Yeah.
I always walk the dogs and say, let's look for Bigfoot. Hell yeah. There are Bigfoot in New Hampshire is a thing. That's all I got to say. Bigfoot in New Hampshire is a thing. Do I watch Expedition Bigfoot? I have seen it. Dr. Beatrice homegirl, Cuban homegirl, Dr. Maria Mayer from University of Miami. She is an absolute legend. Dr. Maria Mayer from Miami, Cuban American lady, is a primatologist, and she's been on several seasons of that show, and it's amazing. But truth be told, if you guys want to hear like the truth, with these creatures that are sort of humanoid in nature, when you're out in the woods and you have lighting and you have mics and you have cameras, it's problematic to try to actually get a sighting on Bigfoot. When you're in camp and there's no lights and there's no cameras and all that, I mean, I have heard of them coming right up to people in a that are in a hammock. There was a young man that woke up. He found him going through his backpack, getting like power bars. And there's another guy that had him like it was looking over him in his hammock. So I've heard tons and tons of first-person narratives from everybody, from police officers, military, lawyers, all different kinds of folks that have had, and people that I've interviewed personally that have had Bigfoot encounters. Moms, school teachers, lots and lots of people have had Bigfoot encounters, but you have to put yourself in a vulnerable situation and act normal, and they'll come in. If you're trudging through the woods at night with night vision and stuff like that, don't you think that's their home? They're going to know that you're there. And I can play audio for you of what they sound like when they holler. I've got tons and tons of Bigfoot stuff. It's very, very interesting phenomenon, very fascinating phenomenon. And I assure you, they are and I say they because there's male, female, kids, 100% real. And that 1967 video, which I shared with Bea, that is a female. And did you not see the mammary glands hanging off the front of her, Bea?
Yeah.
When she turns, they're big mammary glands. So that is a female. That is not even a male in that 1967 Patterson Gimlin film. So if anybody wants to Google that, it's Patterson and Gimlin, Gimlin, and then click stabilize. So you'll see the stabilized version, because when they saw this, as you would imagine, the guy was like, he's like running with a 16mm camera, like falling all over himself. The horse reared up and, he got thrown off. It was a nightmare. All right. I think we're ready to close. Good move, John. Hair attracts hair. It's great. Conquer, New Hampshire. All right, guys. Jen Root, my dear, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us again. And you do understand that this platform is open for you at any time.
Thank you. That's great. I want to also wait. I just want to say I updated the petition for an independent investigation to have the new U.S. Attorney of Massachusetts. So if you haven't already, go to justonroot.com and get that petition again, because it will go to their office. And we want to just blast the new person in there. Like, so they get it and they go, wait, what? And then, come to the Vigil on Friday morning, and it will be nice to be with the community and be with people who care about justice. And, that's it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Beatrice will be speaking there.
She'll be speaking, and we'll be looking out for our star cart, because,
Yes.
Star cart
If
thing.
you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
But Beatrice is getting a big head. She was applying for her Screen Actors Guild credentials just the other day after being on the news so many times. This is it's https://justonroot.com with an O, not an I. And you can get information on the vigil that will be at 9:15 in the morning, showtime over there. And the petition, I need to go there and sign myself, because I don't remember if I have. Oh, wait a minute. This is why I don't take he's afraid he's going to attract Bigfoot. You told us, John, that you don't like hiking. You told us, I'm bored when my brother tries to take me hiking. I'm bored. I'm like, what am I doing here? I need to be skeet shooting or something. So, anyway, we love you, John. We love all of you guys. Thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys were so much fun to hang out with tonight. Beatrice, you know what? I'm even going to thank you.
Oh, thank you, DJ.
Yeah,
You're
no,
so
don't
sweet.
mention it. Hopefully your Screen Actors Guild card will be coming in the mail. Hopefully it's laminated. If not, we'll take it down to Kinko's, get that laminated for you. Thank you, Jen Root, for being awesome. I'm going to give you another salute. All right. Yeah. My hippie sister. Let me tell you something. You and I haven't talked about Woodstock. I know more about Woodstock than anybody should know. That specific 1969 event. So if you ever have questions next time in Mass, let's do the damn thing. All right.
Oh, you know what? I just realized somebody earlier had asked, how many years younger was Justin than you?
He was 3 years younger.
Okay.
Just about
very close in age.
So Justin would have been 46 on Monday.
Yeah.
His birthday is January 27.
So you're 49?
Say that he was born on 27 and he died on 27. Yeah, I'm 49.
You look so young. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious. Yeah.
Oh my God, you look very young.
Oh, thanks.
You look for those of you in the chat, you through this screen here, you are not going to get a
I'm
sense.
not 49. I'm almost 49.
Oh, you're 40. Okay, so
I'm 49 in May.
So you're 1 year older than Bea. Well,
Wait,
Bea,
no, 2. Wait a minute. Are you trying to... Wait a minute.
Listen, once you get near 50, just forget about it. We're getting younger. That's how I look at it. We're just getting younger now.
Yep. I'm going to tell you, for those of you in the chat that have not seen Jen in real life, you are not going to get a sense of how beautiful this lady is until you see her in person. You cannot tell on this screen right there, but yes, she is stunning. So, all right.
Okay.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you, everybody in the chat. John, Amy. Let me say this name. Let me see if we can say this. Zebulon Swearingen. Is that what that says? I love that name. Thank you so much for coming home, brother. We will be here again Sunday night. We're going to be wilding out. Right, Bea?
Yes, can't wait.
With Jimmy, Jen Altman.
Okay, say hi to Nurse Kim for me.
And Nurse Kim. Oh, everybody wants to meet up with Nurse Kim.
I mean, say hi to everybody. I mean, I think that the Auntie Bev, hilarious.
Hilarious.
I can't wait, man.
I was like watching it. I was like, I can't. And then it was like, have a White Claw. Have a White Claw.
The next, everybody's
I'll
beautiful.
allow
new-
it. I'll allow it.
Did you notice Bev's haircut today?
I haven't seen anything because I've literally
Oh.
been really doing law stuff.
Okay. Yeah. She got a haircut.
Oh, she did? Oh,
Yep.
boy. She's got
It's less poofy
Oh, less
and
puffy.
shorter.
Okay. Oh, she must have consulted her stylist.
Yep.
There ain't enough haircuts in the world to do anything for that.
No. I mean, you know what? Even being in that courtroom when we went like a month and a half ago or whatever, it's just that voir dire with the
Russell.
yes,
Dr. Russell.
Dr. Russell.
It's just I have a hard time sitting there because I'm like literally visualize myself getting up and be like, like I literally that's all I'm thinking about. Like if I can just go postal for a second. So I'm like, it's not a good idea for me to be in the courtroom. Not that I would do that, but it's just like my head goes into like places that are just dark. And I'm like, why are we sitting here? And it just actually makes me just really angry because they're trying to drain Karen. And
Yes, they are.
They're trying to drain her. I mean, if they're
Absolutely.
going to with this sort of stuff, flying in experts so that they can, try to, chip away at how they shouldn't be in this next trial. And it's like, well, they're going to be, but you're just doing this to, cost her another couple hundred G's before we even start trial.
Yeah, and there's there was a lawyer who went on with Andrew D. Myers one day. He had two lawyers, and one lawyer was trying to play it middle of the road. It was basically the whole show was about that Hank Brennan had joined the offense or the persecution team, and this other lawyer though was, I thought, very succinct in how he pointed out the weight of the state and the way they were applying the power and the not only the power and influence of the state, but the financial power that the state can bring against a single woman was what was disgusting. And God willing, we will see her walk free one way or the other. I don't think it's going to be via.
We're all going to be behind her and with her and at her side and help her get through this because this actually really could be any of us. And
It could.
We're not, it's good to know that there's so many of us who want to see the right thing here. And
Yes.
And these are basically like little mini trials that he's getting the bite at the apple. You know what I mean? So it's like he's getting to see how these experts are handling his disgusting examination.
I was like, is she on trial? Like the way that he went at her, I was like, okay, first of all, that's like not anywhere appropriate no matter what you're doing.
Right.
You just ask questions, but he really was like she was on trial for murdering somebody. I was like, that's just wrong and rude, especially for her who's like clearly like way overqualified, probably one of the most qualified people that you could ever get, okay, in this, area of expertise. I'm like it's like watching some sort of sitcom where you're like, is this real? Is this really happening? Like,
it's not done. It's not done when she had already. I mean, that motion should have been dismissed because she had already been admitted.
Yeah.
Now I got to be fair. Brother counsel pointed out he thought her entrance into the trial could have been a Rule 14 violation potentially. That's what he said, and we'll get into that. Oh, by the way, February 10th, right here, Brother counsel and Mark Betterow. Can anybody give me an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you to Annette, the reality check. Annette Reality Check is the one who set me up with Brother Counsel. Without her, it probably would not have happened. So yeah, so we're gonna get into that because, and I'll remember that one, Bea, because if Brother Counsel forgets it, we can get Mark's take and let them debate that. And unless he's phenomenal, and you're just saying that because he's from New York. I know what you're talking about there, Diane. So anyway, all right.
Oh yes, he is. He is like, and I just love how he says to like, to her, to Bev, like, Your Honor, if you're, like if that's, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just like the comedy.
But you see how she reacts to him. She actually respects him.
Oh
and
yeah,
today
that was good. That was
Yeah.
good. They needed that because the thing is
She doesn't like Jackson.
Unfortunately, that judge shouldn't be letting, personality and whatever. And it's very obvious about what she has with Alan Jackson. I mean, just to like insinuate to a very successful lawyer that, well, you can take the red eye. And it's like, whoa. I mean, that sort of stuff is like so inappropriate to come out of saying that sort of stuff. But so there's obviously that can weigh in on things. And so to have this, her new lawyer, I can't pronounce his name. Sorry.
Alessi or Lisi?
Alessi. Okay.
Depends on where you're from in New York.
My other lawyer today I talked to for like the Brigham thing. And I was like, Vigil. He's like, Jen, you don't say Vigil correct. And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm going to keep saying it the way I say it.
And Alessi today stood up because Hank was, when he was doing his talking, he said hashtag. And then Alessi got up and said, I don't know what hashtags are, or they're hash values. And it was just so funny. It was like, mic drop.
I love it. I
mean, I'm gonna have to watch some of that. I'll
oh my God, it was awesome.
Yeah, I got to see that.
If you want a quick version, I know.
Yeah,
the quicker version, I would go to Peter Trago's The Lawyer You Know. If you're looking for something under an hour,
I'll go. Yeah, I need under the hour because then I got to get the kids to bed. Okay, The Lawyer You Know.
Yes, Mr. Peter Trago's.
Hashtag Alessi, how you doing? Give me a slice for lunch and a beer. All right, give me a light beer. So, how do you like my New York accent there? Please pass the pepper. Is that okay? Yeah, maybe. No.
Yeah,
Boston
we'll take
Brandy,
it.
anybody?
Yeah, we'll take it.
All right. Hey, what are you gonna do, huh?
We'll do.
All right. Yeah.
Well. So, let's just pack the car at Harvard Yard.
Oh, you don't even have a Boston accent, man. I'm gonna tell you what. You got rid of your.
You know what? When I would go to like Hogan's Palm when I was younger, and I'd hear people like Jennifer. I was like, what? Of course, they wouldn't be calling me, but they were calling somebody else. But I was like, where's the freaking R?
Yeah, I was going to say something that I lost it and now I got it back is I said after the last trial when those motions for the argument before the Supreme Judicial Court that was made by that venerable attorney. Can you guys help me with his name? The appellate lawyer.
Yeah.
I can't recall his name, but I was thinking that they should have somebody. I was thinking I would bring him in. Not that I wouldn't necessarily have Jackson there, but she doesn't like Jackson. And for Jackson's moves, it's kind of like basketball, where you need to be able to dribble and kind of get down the lane. And every time she's going to call a foul on him before he even gets to make a move. And that, I don't think that is going to, I don't think she's not going to let him get off. The stuff that he wants to do where he can rip apart a witness, they know all they have to do is say object. She's going to say sustained,
right?
Or she's going to call him the sidebar, and you can't get anything going. There's a rhythm that it seems that they have. So anyway, I don't want to bore you guys. I'm not a legal analyst. I do need to close the show.
I'm not a lawyer, so yeah.
I do want to close the show so I can go have dinner. So it's not too friggin' late. It's already 7:30 out here. But thank you, Jen. Thank you, Bea.
Good night.
Thank you, chat.
See everybody at the Vigil on Friday, February 7th, 9th.
Friday.
Yep.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bea.
Do the petition for an independent investigation.
Yes.
Let's just flood them.
And
I will see you tomorrow for Sandra Birch.
Oh, yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, that's right. I was looking at something in my closet to be like, okay, is that blue? It's a little more blue, but it's okay.
Yes, I got the blue hat. I'm all set.
Oh, good. All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Everybody.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.